Hello, everybody. Welcome to CGU, Christian Gamers Union. My name is Trust in Christ, and today we're going to continue where we left off at with the birth of Samson. So we're going to get into the life of Samson, the strongest man in history, the man that God gave to his mother and his father to defeat the armies of the Philistines. So today we're going to continue where we left off at in the book of Judges, chapter 14. So let's get started. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now, one thing we have to remember, God forbid pretty much the Israelites from intermingling with the Philistines. And what did Samson do? He married a woman of that tribe. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. And his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her from me, for she pleases me well. I wonder what that means. But his father and his mother knew not that it was the Lord that sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Then went Samson down, and his father and his mother, to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath. And behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid. And he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father or mother what he had done. So pretty much Samson tore a lion apart with his own bare hands. So he's a strong man. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. After a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands and went on eating. And they came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and he did eat. But they told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made there a feast, for so used the young men to do. And it came to pass, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. Samson said unto him, I will not put forth a riddle unto you. So these are Philistines going against Samson. The Philistines are in domination over Israel. They have them as captive. They're under, pretty much persecution, oppression. And we got to remember God is using this occasion of this woman to pretty much provoke the Philistines to overtake them with Samson's strength. And pretty much they're asking him, as we're going to see right here, where is he getting his strength? And Samson said unto them, I will now put aside a riddle unto you. If ye can certainly declare it me within 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 changes of garments. But if ye cannot declare it me, then shall ye give me 30 sheets, 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, Put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. And he said unto them, Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass the 7th day, that they said unto Samson's wife, Entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee in thy father's house with fire. Have you called us to take that we have? Is it not so? So these guys are trash. So pretty much they threatened the life of this Philistine, which biblically, in the Old Testament, it was forbidden for them to do it. But in this occasion, pretty much God put it in his heart to do such a thing for this occasion. But instead of them, doing things straight and fair, pretty much they provoked the wife. They threatened her, if you don't get this riddle for us within the 7-day period, we're going to kill your father and we're going to burn your house down. And Samson's wife wept before him and said, what? Thou doest but hate me, and lovest me not? Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it to me. And he said unto her, behold, I have not told it to my father nor my mother, but shall I tell it thee? And she wept before him the 7 days while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him. And she told the riddle to the children of her people. Well, ain't that trash? That's very trash. So instead of telling the truth to her husband, she used tears. This is why you shouldn't trust tears, with people. She used tears. She used, her nurturing nature to deceive Samson to do what? Give the riddle to her people so her house could survive. Instead of telling him the truth, she lied to pretty much get the safety of her house. So is that love? No, she didn't love her husband. But God used this for a reason. And it came, and the man of the city said unto him, the 7th day before the sun went down, what is the sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto him, if ye had not plowed with my heifer, ye had not found out my riddle. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Askelon, and slew 30 of the men, and took their spoil, and gave change of garment unto them which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend. Yeah, that's a trash wife. But it came to pass within a while after, in the time of wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with the kid. And he said, I will go into my wife into the chamber. But her father would not suffer him to go in. And her father said, I verily thought that I had as utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to thy companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. So pretty much, and I can't blame, Samson. After his wife used deception, he got rid of her and gave her away. Now he's looking for another wife. And Samson, verse 3, said concerning them, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, my goodness, and took firebrands, and turned tail to tail, and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines, and burnt up both the shocks, and also the standing corn, with the vineyards and olives. Then the Philistines said, what have done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timatite, because he had taken his wife, given her to his companion, and the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. And ain't that trash? They still killed Samson's wife and her father, even though she did as they asked. She cried, she wept. She used the wife card. I'm your wife. You don't love me. That's why you shouldn't buy that crap. I'm not talking about wife. Do not buy tears. You always test the spirit by the spirit when you're dealing with things. And guess what she did? She proved that she didn't love him. Love him. And guess what the Philistines proved? That they didn't care for his wife, and still killed her father, and still killed her and burned him, even though she kept her end of the bargain. That's trash. And Samson said unto them, Though ye have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. And he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. And he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock Edom. Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Leah. And the men of Judah said, Why are ye come against us? And they said, To bind Samson are we come up, to do to him as he have done to us. Then the 300 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Edom, and said to Samson, Knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto him, As they did unto me, so I have done unto them. And pretty much, they killed his wife, so he killed them. And it's true. They didn't keep their word. She honored their word and told the secret and the riddle to them. They still killed them. So Samson killed them. And because they were rulers and because they were in the land of Judah, guess what? Just like with Pharaoh, their treatment became harsher. And they wanted Samson dead for this thing. Verse 12. And they said unto him, We are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said unto him, Swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves. And they spake unto him, saying, No, but we will bind thee fast, and deliver thee into their hand, but surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords, brought him from the rock. And when they came to Lay, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. And the cords that were upon his arms, as flax, was burnt with fire, and his bands loosed from off his hands. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith, by himself. No sword. Killed 1,000 men. That's a strong man. We're almost done. And Samson said, With the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he had made up the end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramothlet. And he came and was a sore thirst, and was called on the Lord, and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into thine hand of thy servant, and now I shall die for thirst, and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised. But God clave an hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout, and when he had drunk, his spirit came again. And he revived, wherefore he called the name therefore Enhakkor, which is in Leah unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. Alright, so we're going to end on that note, and we're going to get to the story of Samson and Delilah, next Monday. So before we close, obey God, And pick good wives because this wife was trash. This wife used her tears, her crying, and didn't care about Samson. And the Philistines were trash because guess what? They threatened her that if she didn't expose the secret of that riddle, that they would kill her father and her. And guess what? Even though she told the secret, even though it was exposed to them, she still was burned as well as her father. So pretty much with when you're dealing with, heathens, with bad people, don't bargain with them. Don't bargain with ungodly people. Don't give in to threats, and love your husband and love your wife. All right, we're going to close on that note. So James, do you have anything you want to add before we close out?
I'm just gonna say 100% agree with what you said. Be careful with the wife that you choose. Um, Also, when you and this is when you read the book of Samson, you see basically why God says don't fornicate, don't mess with strange women, because ultimately that kind of led to Samson's downfall because he kept messing with all these strange women.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and you could tell the power of God by the fact that a single man took a donkey's jawbone to slay 1,000 men.
Yep.
So, with that being said, Samson slaying 1,000 men with that jawbone still didn't equate to the when Samson repented of what he did and God helped him kill the Philistines in that temple, which
Mm-hmm.
we'll read later on. But that tells you how awesome God is right there.
Yep. What's messed up about this story is that his own people of Judah pretty much gave him up, but God still used that as an occasion to slay the Philistines. He judged Israel for 20 years, so he had a good period of time judging Israel. It's just your wife, the wife you choose, is very important. Now, God did it in this occasion. It's similar to the occasion of Hosea, where Hosea married a prostitute. But that was an
Mm-hmm.
example. Same thing with this. This is an example. Do not marry a strange wife like Samson. Do not marry a whore like Hosea. You know, these are scenarios put here to show us what will happen. You marry a strange woman and her loyalty is to her ungodly tribe. Guess what? It's going to be your downfall. A bad wife, a bad husband can be your downfall. And guess who was responsible for that woman? Samson was. Now, he put her away once he was deceived by her, once her people came against, him. And once she didn't tell the truth to Samson, just say, you know what? Can you expose this riddle to me? Because my people has threatened my father. It has threatened also, my life. Things would have turned out a lot different. But we know this didn't happen because God used this occasion to overthrow the Philistines. And because of Samson, he slew those 1,000 men. We see that there came a time of peace for 20 years while Samson judged Israel as a valiant man. All right, so we're going to close on that note. James closes out.
The CGU and all of his biblical works are brought to you in part by
The
The
Bible.
Bible.
All right,
the Bible.
until next time.